30 years ago, this was our bee park. It's a little overgrown.
In this video, we're going to look at some of the equipment necessary in order to raise bees. Obviously, you need some land, you need some hives, and you need some bees. But what else do you need in order to have a successful experience? I thought an amusing way of doing this might be to print out some pictures of equipment and show them to the bee, Lisa, and see what she guesses the equipment is used for.
Hi, I'm Lisa, otherwise known as the bee, and this year myself and John, who is otherwise known as the badger, are going to, I guess, regale you with our beekeeping antics. Now we're really going to become beekeepers. We're going to get a couple hives in April, but to make things interesting, John decided he was going to print out various beekeeping tools and show them to me and see if I could figure out what the hell they are and what they're used for.
Okay.
So, okay, you ready, John?
We're going to start with a very simple one, and I'm going to put a picture on the screen.
Okay.
There's number one.
It's an astronaut suit.
No,
it's a beekeeping suit.
Okay.
But you're just missing the NASA patch. You'd be right. That's right.
Number two.
Beekeeping gloves so your hands don't get stung when you try to reach in for those gnarly bastards.
Number three.
A beekeeping tool, a beehive tool, aka a hive tool, and it also could probably work as a crowbar.
Four, you should know well.
Oh, this is the smoker. This is where you smoke the bees so they relax and you can go in and work on them and they don't sting you.
Okay. Now we start getting a little bit more complicated.
This is the thing that you put down there with sugar water so you feed the bees.
Good.
Okay. That's one of those things that goes in between the other thing, like where they put the comb thingamabobs. That's one of those things. It's a screen thing. It holds the thingamabob that, I can't think of the name of that. You have 7 of them or whatever in your hive. Some are at the top, which are like the brood chambers, or no, the honey chambers, and some are at the bottom, which are the brood chambers. But this, in fact, this is not assault a deadly weapon. It's part of one of those frames.
It's actually an entrance reducer. It keeps field mice from getting into the hive.
Well, that's good news.
Now we're going to get into something a little strange.
Well, it's not honeycomb shaped.
No.
So I know what it isn't. I think it's the bottom of the hive.
No.
It's the top of the hive.
That is a queen excluder, and you put it in between your brood chambers and your honey supers so the queen doesn't go up there and lay eggs. So the holes in that are just big enough for the bees to go through, but not for the queen.
Can't.
Exactly. Now we're getting really esoteric here.
It's a pregnancy test. Look, I'm expecting a bee. I don't have any fucking idea. What is it?
That is called a bee escape, and you stick it in the inner cover, and when you're trying to move the bees out of a super after you've brushed them all off, you put that between the 2 supers, and the bees can go down through the hole.
No one listening to this has any idea what a super is.
Well, it's one of the square boxes, one of the square frames, but we covered that in a prior video. So they can go through the hole and go down, but they can't come back up. There's a little set of plastic strips in there that prevent them from going. So eventually you drain the bees out of the super you want to take off of the hive.
Okay, that's very clever. This is a special Band-Aid brand Band-Aid that you put on as soon as you've been stung. What is it?
That's a pollen cake.
Oh.
And those pollen cakes
feed the bees in the time in the spring where they may starve when there's not enough thingamabobs for them to suck the pollen out of.
Pretty much.
It's a window so you can look in and see the bees?
Nope.
It's a window from your bathroom door? I don't know. What is it?
That's a screened bottom board. And you put that on the bottom of the hive instead of the solid bottom board. And during the summer, you can get air circulation up through the hive so they don't overheat. And you can also put cards underneath there to test for mites, which we'll explain in a future episode.
It's some kind of wire.
It is some kind of wire.
But I have no idea what kind.
It's a stainless steel wire, and the purpose it used to serve was when you put the wax foundation into the frames, you would run this wire through it, and it would support the frames. It would support the foundation. Modern foundation comes through with a plastic core, and you don't need it for that. But you still need that for repairing comb in the hive and doing other repairs in the hive because it's food safe, being stainless steel.
Nice.
And that's it.
Well, that was exciting. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Stump the Bee. It certainly worked. Anyway, we'll see you next time. And what's the buzz going on with your life?